What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Granblue fantasy video. In this video, we're going to go ahead and go over 10 tips that you may not have known while playing Granblue Fantasy. Now, the very first tip that we're going to go ahead and go over is something that I have yet to do, but it is how you get your last sigils. If you guys didn't know, you unlock your base sigils right here that everybody gets easily through doing the mastery tree. Everybody knows that one. However, there are a couple more sigils that you need to get by doing the story. So you got to go ahead and head over to the quest counter over here. Go ahead and talk to the quest counter lady. Go ahead and head over to the fate episodes and go ahead and pick whoever your main is, or just everyone in general, and go ahead and scroll on down. And if you click the right bumper stick, you can go ahead and see after you clear episode 4, you get an additional sigil slot, and after you clear episode 8, you get an additional sigil slot, as well as some good stats. Now, the most important thing is those sigil slots, so whoever character is your main, make sure you're doing these fate episodes for them, otherwise you're missing out on a lot of power. Now, on the same topic of sigils, that leads us to tip number 2. Did you guys know that you can instantly max out any sigil in the game? Let's go ahead and head over to the blacksmith right here, and I'll showcase exactly what I mean there. If we go to the blacksmith, we go ahead and go to upgrade sigils. Now, you see over here where it says required treasures, you actually don't need to get all of those treasures to upgrade your sigils. So let's go ahead and see. I'm going to want to max out. You're going to want to mostly use this with the plus sigils, since those are the most difficult ones to upgrade, and this resource is kind of finite. But we will go ahead and head over to something I'm looking to power up. Let's see if I can find my damage cap plus. There it is, damage cap plus. Now, if you see, I don't actually have the materials that I need to upgrade this, so it won't actually let me upgrade it. However, if you have this item called Azurite's Splendor, you can go ahead and upgrade it to the max level regardless. Now, to do that, you have to press whatever button it says on the screen on the top right for your controller. Normally, it's the select button if you're using an Xbox controller, for example. And there you have the Azurite Splendor. We'll go ahead and execute it, and as you see, it will take me from level 11 straight to level 15 automatically without having to worry about anything at all. So that is definitely something that you guys are going to want to be farming a lot of. Otherwise, look at all the materials that you need to farm instead versus farming one other item. Now, number 3 is a much smaller of a tip, but number 3 is that last crewmate card. I don't know about you guys, but I finished the whole entire story and I could not figure out for the life of me where that last crewmate card was. However, it's actually in the Knickknack store under the Dahlia badges. Go over to the golden Dahlia badges, and let's see, it's right here, the crewmate card. There's one of one in stock. So simply just get 7 golden Dahlia badges. If you're not sure how you get those golden Dahlia badges, I'll go ahead and show that case that real quickly. Just head on over to the quest counter, talk to the quest counter lady, go over to Quick Quest, and simply just use your little golden badges, and each golden badge you use will give you 1 golden Dahlia ticket. And if you don't have enough gold things, then just log in daily or just do tons of quick quests and you get 1 extra badge per 3 quests that you complete. Now, the 4th tip I have for you guys today is collecting your trophy rewards. If you guys are still in the middle of completing the story, this is a huge tip for you guys because it gives you some good rewards. Now, in order to do that, head over to Lyra's journal right here. Scroll on down to the trophy tab. Go over to stories and quests and go ahead and claim all of these. Look at all of these materials that I have yet to claim. Late game, it's not that huge. I've already collected some, so I would have claimed even more if this was my first time. But that's not all. You can go to character and collect these as well, and battle, and all of these are different rewards that you guys could be aiming for and trying to collect these different things. Now, luckily, when you press the collect all on one of them, it collects all of them through all the tabs, so you don't need to worry about going through all the tabs. But I'd recommend still just clicking them just to get the little exclamation point off of there. Now, that is an easy little tip. Now, another tip I've got for you guys is where we're at now. 1, 2, 3, tip number 5 is the weapon skin. If you guys didn't know, if you head on over to your gear and then you select your weapon right here, you could actually change the skin. So if you don't like the skin that you're using, you could go ahead and press X and change it to any skin that you like. I personally like these ice blades. I think these ice blades look really awesome. So you could go ahead and equip those, and you're still using whatever sword you were using before, whatever weapon you were using before. And if you want to go back to it, you can go ahead and just press Y if you're on the Xbox controller, and then it'll change it back to its normal skin. Now that we're on the topic of skins, let's go ahead and explain something else, which is the weapon mastery system. Guys, if you don't know about the weapon mastery system, this is something that's highly overlooked. Now, if you didn't know, all of these little locked things right here, all of these buffs, they are actually permanent buffs onto your character. So you definitely want to be always trying to upgrade these on your max character. Otherwise, you're missing out on a ton of free stats, especially on that very first weapon that you get on the characters. You might think it's the first weapon, but it's bad, but look at how much HP you're missing out. I'm missing out on 3,000, 5,000, 8,000 HP just by not having the base sword upgraded. And let me remind you, that's a permanent upgrade. And all you have to do is level up the sword, uncap the sword, and do that for all of these things on your main character. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that on every single character because it will take quite some time, but at least on your main character, guys, make sure you do upgrade and keep on upgrading your collection as well. Now, let's go ahead and go back onto the sigils topic and go ahead and explain some of the best sigils in the game. Now, there are two specific sigils that you can only get through curios. And if you're not sure exactly what curios are, they're little chests that you get from clearing the dungeons, and then you go ahead and turn them in for random rewards. If you don't know exactly what that is still, go ahead and leave me a comment and I'll go ahead and make a short little video to reply to you on exactly how you can turn those in. But anyways, the two sigils that you're going to be looking for on the curios is War Elemental and Supplementary Damage. Why are we looking for those? War Elemental simply raises your damage cap above the normal damage cap without having to use a damage cap sigil. So it's just a straight damage increase by having War Elemental on. So you're going to want to have at least 4 War Elementals. And Supplementary Damage basically lets you do a semi-smaller hit every time you attack. It's kind of hard to explain, but it just does extra damage is all you need to understand with that. Both of these things give you more damage that are separate from the damage cap. So that's why these two things are huge. Even if you're hitting the damage cap, these two things will stack on top of that. And one other little thing that you should know about sigils for tip number 8 actually, is the 3 best perks for learning and difficult content in general. I recommend everybody who's learning any new boss fight to add on Potion Hoarder, Guts, and Auto Revive. These 3 items are probably, or these 3 sigils are probably my favorite sigils. What they do is simply Potion Hoarder sounds pretty terrible when I first read it, but if you scroll down to level 15, you get an extra 2 revives, an extra 5 blue potions, versus your normal of just like 2, or your basic base of it. It's worth it to at the very least get level 6 to get that extra revival potion. It comes in handy. It'll stop you guys from wiping so much. Guts, every time you die, it lets you survive with 1 HP. That is also huge. And Auto Revive is basically the same as Guts, except rather than leaving you alive with 1 HP, it simply revives you. And the cool thing about Guts and Auto Revive is they activate on their own, and they have their own separate cooldown of all the way up to 2 minutes. So you could activate this multiple times in a fight. Those are very amazing things. Now, for the last little thing that we're going to go over is just a quick little quest is the easiest way to showcase this. Now, for the last 2 tips, for number 9, I want to explain how blue potions work. This is something that those of you guys who are not doing any difficult content or any team combat in general may not know. But it's a pretty big deal that you guys need to learn. Now, to showcase this, I'm just going to go ahead and lose this one. Like, I'm not going to try to finish this whole entire quest, but I just want to show you against a difficult monster these last two things. So I'm going to start this quest really, really quickly. And once this starts, we're going to go ahead and showcase tip number 9, which is the blue potion, and tip number 10, which will be the guard function in this game. This is my favorite boss in the game, by the way. I really wish you could farm this guy instead of Proto Bahamut all the time. Okay, so block. As you can see, any attack in the game, you could just block it. Don't worry so much about dodging, because dodging you kind of have to time. Blocking, you could just hold. Another thing with block, if you didn't know, if you have a character that's using a charge ability, Lancelot unfortunately doesn't have that, but you could hold down the charge ability and hold down block, and it will immediately block the second that you get hit. That way you can charge and block basically at the same time. Now, the blue potion is the last tip, and the blue potion is not only heals your teammates, but it raises your link bar by 2 to 3. So that is something that a lot of people don't pay attention to. If you see my link bar right now is 24%, boom, 26%. If your whole entire team has Potion Hoarder plus uses all those blue potions, you will have a very high amount of link charge and can get that 100% link very, very early into the game. And I really wish people would do that a lot more often. Maybe I should have made that tip 1, because that is actually pretty important, that I really hope people start to learn. If you start getting into a fight and you notice, oh my gosh, my link bar was at 98, if only we had 2% more, pop that blue potion, guys, and you'll immediately get to 100, and then you'll be able to skip so many phases. That's all I've got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys learned a new tip or two, and if you did, I'll go ahead and be making a couple more tip videos and some more character showcase videos, so stick around for more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.